Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel, Tutor Things. Today in this video, we are going to see Angular reactive forms, like how to create Angular reactive forms, what are the things you have to remember while creating active reactive forms, and Angular reactive forms are used for more advanced form operations. Like I will show you in a practical example so that you will understand. In the previous video, we have seen Angular template-driven forms, like how to create that and how to submit that form or how to get the data of that form, and again how to display that in the UI. We have seen all those things. So now in the reactive forms, I'm going to explain the same things, like what are the quite differences we have from the template driven forms to reactive forms. As we discussed in the previous video, like template driven forms are mainly related to template level, like all the operations of validations of controls and grouping of the form is everything is done at the template itself. Now reactive forms is the one thing where we have to manage all those things in the TypeScript file, that is at the model level itself. We have to group them and make it as a form group or form controls we are going to define in the TS file itself. Let's see this with an example so that you will understand better. So this video is all about reactive Angular reactive forms. So before getting started into this thing, I want to mention one thing, that is, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and click the bell icon so that you will never miss any update from us. You will get notified each time when we upload a new video. We have done so many videos far now, till now, like templates and structural directives and Angular first project, all files explanation, like data binding and everything. We have done so many videos related to Angular. Not only Angular, we have done HTML, CSS, JavaScript, TypeScript, and SQL kind of thing. Web development concepts we have done. I think hope you will get the concept clearly by watching our videos. Watch, go through all those playlists. Any one of them may help you. So I'm using this Tagless website, which is a very cool website where we can create any application within milliseconds. This is mainly related to JavaScript environment application only. This is a online IDE where you can create your web development through this website. So website through a website, right? It's a quite funny, but it is real. So and you can see here, I'm just clicking on Angular button there so that my Angular application is created. No need to install any dependencies, like in unlike an a local machine we have to install everything to create your first Angular project. Here no need to do any kind of such things. Just your Angular application is created. The default component here is the app component. We have created an app modules are there, so where you have all these kind of things. In this stack bliss, you will get the form modules as a module, default module imported, but unlike in a local machine, you have to import this forms module here. So in the previous video in template driven, I haven't mentioned this point. Like in template driven, we have to import this module first before going to create and use this ng form kind of things. So here it is defaultly imported. So for this, what for the Angular driven forms, what we have to import is here already imported, that is forms module we have to import. Where in the case of Angular reactive forms, we have to import is no need of importing a forms module, but we have to import that reactive forms module. So no need of a forms module. You can just remove that reactive forms module we have to import. So in case of reactive forms, we have to need this reactive forms module that to be imported in the module file. So we have to make sure that these things are installed like that. So that is the case. 1 minute. So this is the case. We have to import reactive forms first of all to create your reactive Angular form. So now in the HTML, what I want to add is, first I want to add one header part which tells that we are what you are doing. We are just doing reactive forms in Angular, just as a heading. So whenever we give here you will get the output in stack blitz. Here also we have a console to see any console logs here. So that is here we can see. As of now we don't have anything. So let's see reactive form. For that reactive form, I'm generally taking one HTML form with having some basic things, like which we have, like the same example which I have shown in the template driven forms. First I have taken a form tag which is a normal HTML form, like a table. Here any React or JS Angular, we don't write action kind of thing in form. We have different kind of concept with form, like a table I have taken for a good organization. some label I have taken here. I'm not using placeholder because I'm using label here. You can use any one of that to give a hint to the user so that what kind of data to be inserted in that field likewise only. So I'm using label, and some input type is equal to text is enough. Here I'm using name value. This is a normal I have copied from somewhere in the from Google. It's a normal HTML form only. Let's see how I am modifying the normal HTML form into a reactive Angular form. In the previous video, we have seen like a normal HTML form, how we are changing into a template driven Angular form. So now in this video, I'm going to show you how I am modifying it in a reactive form. So for that, what are the things we have to do? So now we have imported reactive modules, right? So in the ts file, like in html, in the ts file, first we have to define that your form groups and every kind of thing that should be done in the model level. So it is called as a model driven forms. So Angular reactive forms follows a model driven approach to handle form through input. Values can be changed over time. These are also known as model driven forms. In the reactive forms, you can create and update a simple form control, use multiple controls in a group, validate form values, and implement more advanced forms. So all these things we can do with the Angular reactive forms. Let's see that with the example. Like first of all, you have to define your form, right? Form login form. I mean form group. Like what are the things? I'm just defining a form group. Form group you have to open. In that form group I have to have some controls, right? So controls and form group we have to define in the ts file itself. So whenever you have written, it will defaultly import this form group kind of thing. Along with form group, you also have to import one more thing, that is form controls also. Form control also you have to import. We have to use for individual parameters. I have all these parameters, right? Name and password, I have to mention those things, like name, which is of new form control. Just we have to define all those things here. Next, password we have, which is of new form control. Next, what are the parameters we have to mention that here. Like after that we have email, right? Email. After that what we have is a gender, right? Gender, new form control. So now we have defined everything. So we have defined everything, and everything is done. So bracket is extra. So now we have a form group which is having these kind of controls here. So now, unlike a template driven, what in the template driven we have defined everything in the template itself. But now in the reactive forms, we have defining in the model level. Like here, we are defining that is the form control. These are the form controls which are under in this form group. Likewise, so form group we have to import, and form control we have to import. These are the two things which we have to do, which have to do in the model. So now how we have to like interact these two things, like from a form login form. So this login form is related to this login form which is present in the UI. How to give connection between these two things is one adding by one property, that is a form group property. So for form we have form group kind of thing. So is equal to form group, what we have is a login form name, right? So what we are the name which are giving for the login form in the ts file, we have to same name we have to match up with here. Otherwise you will not get out resultant kind of things. So after submitting, what we have done, like general thing which we are doing in the case of normal kind of thing, which is submit or ng submit is same. So submit is equal to what you have to do. We have to call any method, likewise get user data method some. So no need to here in template driven, what we do is we have even template reference variable and we will pass those kind of things. But here no need to do such kind of things, because in TS file itself we are getting that variable right here in the login form. We are defining that in the TS file itself. So no need to pass any data from the form from the UI. So here in this model itself we have that data. So to use that or to display that in the console, what we have to do is we can use that which word property we have here itself is fine. So we can use that so that that will printed here in the UI, which is of a form. If you want to get value of that, you can just use the same kind of thing. like with value console.log of what we have is this dot login form dot. When we give a value, so the value of that form values will come. So one more thing which we have done is we can also store this in the one kind of a variable. To make it visible in the UI, what we can do is we can just take a user data as a variable which is of any type. I'm just taking like this. So what you can do is you can get the value into this field also. Like you can change the value. So what are the value coming in the login form? We can add this into this variable so that we can print that in the UI also. Like how we have done in the template driven forms are just submitted information. Just print. I want to just print those kind of things. So I'm just giving some breakpoint here. What are the values which are getting here is we have to use string interpolation, which is user data dot. We have like name. After that, some breakpoint we can give. Four fields we have, right? So name. After that we have password. After that email we have next of gender. So I'm just displaying those values also. So what we have done till now, so the values are null now in this field, so we can't see those values. When submitted form, you will get those values. Okay. So now what we have done till now is we have making form group by using form group like class a property like which is imported there, and from individual controls we have given, and we have grouped those individual controls into one login form. So we have used that form here, mapped that form value to here. So one more thing which I have missed is we have to not only map this group a form group only, but also you have to map this individual controls also, like name, what are the values we have to map that with each individual input boxes also. How we have to do is we have form control name. We have form control name as a property for any template, ng template. Like we have to assign the value of that bit. If it's a name, we have to give as name. So like that. So this is what we have password, like that. So how we have a ng model for template driven forms. In the similar way, here we will have this that will tell this control is of that form control name likewise. So similarly, we have to add this here also with the same name because this is of a radio button. So now you can see all these things are fine. So now I have mapped the group control and also with the individual controls we have, and I have storing it in the console. Whenever I submitted it, this method will be called, like on submit this method will be called. So that will be coming into this console. Angular form will come and automatically the values also come in the console, and after I'm adding to the ts variable, and again I'm displaying that ts variable in the submitted information here. Let's see now by running this application. I'm just opening the console here so that you can see what outputs are coming, or you can just drag and open it in the new application so that there also you can see. I'm just giving the inputs as Raj and password as Raj at the rate 123, and next email id and mail. I'm just registering it. Register, you can see the first console dot what I have written is form login form. Here you're getting a form group which is all extra information like it is status, null, value, object, and everything. Whenever I type dot value, the value information from this form is getting in the console. So console dot log of value means nothing but the value which you are getting here in this this for this line we are getting that. So next point what I have done, I have added in the ts file. You can see here the name and all these things are coming. Whatever you want to do extra is, so here to understanding better way you can just add some labels to that. That is name as name, and password as password, email as yeah, no fine. No gender also you can just label to to show you better. I'm just labeling this kind of thing. So whenever you change that hot reloading, that will refresh that page. So again, I will gonna show you just typing the names. So I'm just registering. You can see here we are getting console form group also, and there's a value of those groups, and also here while we are displaying here the same process I have done for template driven also, but the small changes are like we have used here is a template reference variable we have used, and we have to pass that one submitting. And also here we have ng model for each individual templates. Like unlike here how we are doing form groups and those all these things are not needed. We have to import other form control, that is normal forms module, where we have ng form kind of things. So this is all about reactive forms. Like this we have to do this reactive forms. One more thing which I want to mention is submitting the thing which we have here, right? On submit it will forming like that. In angular in templates what we have done is for submitting, I will show you. If the submit button, I'm just adding the button here. Here you can see here what data you are going to pass on this. So it's not linked, right? Not referred, like there is no connection between these two things. I'm going to show you this with a practical example so that you will understand. I'm just adding these values here, some any value. So whenever I'm not clicking on register here, I'm just clicking on submit. Nothing is happening because here there is no connection, because it is not a template reference variable. We are not passing any value for this method or likewise. So whenever we have a form group from this, these are the empty values. It's not at updating that value into this form. So if these values are not coming and this method is not giving any form values, because the form values is not updated because it is not linked, right? So whereas in the template reference variable, if the submit button is outside also, we can submit and we can get that data by using template reference variable. But here this that will not happen, right? So this is the template reactive forms which we can do within a simple manner. So one thing which I want to add here in this is basically used to update, create we have tell and update. So what in the case of update? So in the forms when we are getting data, we are able to display that in that, and whenever the user want to update, they can update like already present data from the database. If you want to display in your table, like in your form, how we have to do is we have to use this reactive forms. Here we have defined that name as a normal form, right? So what you can do is we can add the default value for that. So I have it added an empty value, so here also add an empty value. So all these are strings, right? Type kind of things, right? So I'm added normal kind of empty values so that you are getting empty values here. So no change, right? How it is previously, it will be like that only. So whenever I add any name, any default value, you can see here the name is getting default value. So whenever you are defining the control, you can add the default values also. At the rate 123, Sam at the rate 123, and next email as Sam at the rate gmail.com. So next gender as female, I have added like this. So you can see female button value is selected. Likewise, we can get the default values in the form, so that if any user want to update this kind of things, if you want to change again it as like Raj only, or Gmail if you want he want to change like Raj at like already present information he can change and he can register again, so that will updated. Here you can see password is not updated because he haven't updated. Like default information will be there, can be seen like update kind of thing also we can do by using these reactive forms. Wherever in template driven you will not get the values mapped to those fields, like here in this we can do. So this is all about reactive forms. I think everyone is clear with this reactive forms. This is called as model driven approach to handle input. Those values can be changed over time. Like these values can be changed, right? So whenever you want to change, you can change the default, set the default values and do form validations and grouping and multiple form controls. Everything is done at the model level, that is in the TS file. So this is called reactive forms. It's quite similar to the template driven forms, but the only difference is where we do this for controls and validations, all kind of things in the template. Here you will do in the a module level, that is in the TS file. So for this, we need forms modules for template driven, and for reactive forms, we need a reactive forms module. Along with that, we use form controls and form groups, like kind of things. Here we use ng form kind of thing only. So that's all for this video. If you like this video, give a big thumbs up below, and share this videos to your friends who are at learning stage of Angular kind of things, and any web development concepts we have done, HTML, CSS, SQL kind of all this Visual Studio tips also we have done. So just check out all those playlists. You will that will definitely help you to understand better, and debugging tips for Visual Studio. So everything I have done so many videos. Just go through my playlist and subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so that you will never miss any update from us. So that's all for this video. If you have any doubts or suggestions for us, feel free to comment in the comment section. We definitely take your comments and try to give good content in upcoming videos. So feel free to comment in the comment section. We'll definitely react to your comments and take your comments in a positive way. If you have any doubts, also don't feel to comment. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.